There's no denying that the iPhone takes incredible photos. I take this everywhere I go, from Cali to Spain, you name it. I've pretty much been anywhere with an iPhone, not just the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but the iPhone 15, the 14, the 13. Now you guys would think, hey, it's easy to take a picture on the iPhone. You just point and click and that's it. But I'm gonna show you guys in this video the perfect iPhone settings to maximize your picture quality, and also thumbs up the video. Let's try to hit 5,000 likes. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Now, first things first, I wanna say, get the Pro model iPhone. At the time of this recording, the iPhone 17 series is the latest and greatest. And yes, we have the iPhone Air here too as well. We're gonna talk about this in a second. But the reason why I say get the Pro iPhone is because, well, you have 3 camera modules on the back. So you have a telephoto, an ultra wide, and a wide. And this is just gonna give you that flexibility to zoom in optically or even using the ultra wide. But it doesn't even stop there. You can also shoot in ProRes or even ProRAW, even further maximizing image quality. So that's gonna help with the editing process. And it's not to say that the regular iPhone, like this iPhone Air with 1 camera module, isn't good. It's just having that flexibility is always a good thing. First things first, I want to take it over to format. So you want to shoot in the right format. So in this case, you want to change from most compatible to high efficiency. Instead of using JPEG, you're going to be using HEIF, which is going to give you a little bit of a quality boost. That's why I have that on. If you go into photo capture, you want to have this set to 24 megapixels. So setting this to 24 megapixels is going to give you the higher resolution. More megapixel count equals more detail. Of course, using 12 is going to help with the space, but hey, we're looking for quality, not really for the space. Of course, you want to enable ProRAW and resolution control, but we're going to tap into the format here. And I shoot my photos in JPEG XL lossless. You know, just switching from lossless to XL is going to just give you lower compression. Lossless is good too, but it's going to be more file sizes, or it's going to be a larger file size. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, either or, this is good. All right, next up, we're gonna go into preserve settings. Now you wanna have preserve settings on for macro and exposure adjustment. Now, exposure adjustment is super important because with iPhones, it tends to brighten the image a little too much for my liking. So I like to lower it down to -2 exposure. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but enable that, enable night mode, enable portrait zoom, and enable ProRes resolution control. We already talked about this, and enable ProRes. So this is just having those settings right there on the app. Apple does this so it can be a little bit more easier on the camera app, but we're looking for quality. Now also enable the grid and the level. In my opinion, this is just as important because you want to make sure your shot is into frame. So the level is going to use the accelerometer on your iPhone to make sure your camera is set straight so you don't have any crooked shots. Now I want to go into indicators. This is how my indicators are looking like. So I have my indicator for the flash, live photos. I don't like live photos. I don't do them. Now going down into photo capture, I do have the Fusion camera enabled, so 28 millimeters and 35 millimeters is enabled. So that's if you tap the one time, you can zoom the difference, or you can zoom in to different focal lengths. So that's very important though. I think that's gonna be important when it comes down to getting the perfect shot. And in terms of the default lens, where your camera is going to just automatically default to the one time instead of the 1.2 or the 1.5, it's going to automatically default to 24 millimeters. I think having that set to the 24 is important, and having those additional camera lens enabled. Now I have lens correction enabled. This is going to reduce the distortion around the image. So basically, if you're shooting in the ultra wide camera, it tends to distort the image around the sides. So this is just gonna reduce that a little bit. Macro control, I like to have this enabled because you could take some amazing macro photography. And also I have lens cleaning hints. This is just gonna remind you to clean your camera lens before you take the shot. I cannot tell you countless times people taking pictures and the camera lens is so dirty. That's gonna significantly reduce the image quality or picture quality. So just real quick, just take your shirt or take like a microfiber cleaning cloth, recommended, and just wipe the camera module so you can get the perfect shot. So make sure the lens are clean. And another thing, you know, I don't want to put anybody out of business, but I don't recommend any kind of camera module covers because this is going to significantly reduce the quality. You want to use the full-blown camera lens. This is just, I don't recommend this. I love FlowLab. I'm using their screen protectors right now, but when it comes down to the camera lens or any brand, I do not recommend this because, well, it's going to just look like crap after a while and you're gonna have to swap that out. And yeah, these are just, it's just a waste of money. The camera lens on the back of your iPhone is made out of sapphire crystal, so it's gonna be very rare to get any kind of scratches on the camera module. But I understand people want to protect their investment. And with the iPhone 17, I recently did drop my iPhone with no case, and I do have a slight dent on the top, and now I can't unsee it at all. But now going forward, I am gonna rock out with a case for my iPhone. So Caseco has hooked me up with their Titanium MagicStand 360 and the new Aesthetic Design 360 cases for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. While dialing up those perfect iPhone camera settings, the last thing you want is your phone sliding around or taking a tumble. Now, what I like about the Titanium MagicStand 360 is its 360-degree magnetic stand. It snaps into tons of angles, both portrait and landscape, and you can even lock the phone down for test shots, B-roll, or hands-free recording without juggling a tripod. And the stand also doubles as a ring holder. I got a way more secure grip on this big phone. Both of these cases give you military grade drop protection and raised edges around the camera, and both cases are also supported with MagSafe, so I can attach some of my favorite MagSafe accessories, mounts, and chargers. If you want a little bit more aesthetic, the Caseco new Aesthetic Design 360 line keeps the same 360-degree stand. You get the same creative friendly functionality. So yeah, check out Caseco Titanium MagicStand 360 and the new Aesthetic Design 360 cases. I'll throw a link in the description and as well as a pinned comment. Thank you so much for Caseco for sponsoring a portion of this video. But anyway, I think it is time to launch up the camera app. Now, I do have my camera control. I can just press the camera control on the side. I know a lot of people like to turn that off, but it is nice to get that shot. Like from the lock screen here, I can just press the button and I'm ready to go. So I'm not missing any moments whatsoever. Now, as you can see earlier, I did talk about the exposure. So as you guys can see on the top left, you see this EV mode. So this is gonna allow you to lower down the exposure. So you can have it to -0.3. Typically, iPhone photos are a bit too bright for my liking. And you guys are probably thinking, you can just tap the screen to lower it down. But this basically just affects the focus. You want your photos to be focused and nice and sharp as possible. So you can just slide that down, but nothing beats actually having an exposure slider. So yeah, so that's the new option you have there. Just tap on it, adjust the exposure to your liking, and then whenever you're done, you just tap on the X. Or if you want to reset it, you can just tap on that arrow to just reset it real quick, but it's going to memorize your settings every single time. Also too, if you go on the top left, you have your RAW. So shooting RAW photos at the maximum 48 megapixels, that's gonna give you the full-blown sensor. And also too, you can see that when I switch back to Heath, it's gonna go up to 24 megapixel. So like I said, this is just giving you more resolution or more megapixel. So there's gonna be more details in your shots, and you can switch it to 48 megapixel without shooting RAW. So that's definitely a good look. Now you can shoot in RAW, but just keep in mind of your iPhone storage. And I recommend shooting in 4:3 because you're not cropping in the image there. You know, you want to get the maximum detail, the full-blown sensor. So it is best to have that 4:3. The styles, I like to leave it at standard because you can adjust this later on. But typically I always go with gold or amber. But I like to edit all of this stuff within Lightroom. And another thing too, I forgot to show you guys, portrait in photo mode. This right here is nice to have. So for instance, you take a regular photo and later down the line with this option enabled, you can turn it into a portrait photo later on. And you want to disable faster shooting. You don't want to shoot faster, you want to shoot right. You want to have a one good picture and done. All right, here's a photo here. I was at Stanley Park in Vancouver. I shot this in RAW, and you can just tap on auto, and sometimes the auto comes out really good. But usually I like to either decrease the exposure or increase it depending on what it is. And you can increase the brilliance increase the highlights or decrease it even. This is just gonna vary on the photo, and you can add more warmth or add more coolness, add a tint, add sharpness, and of course you have Apple Intelligence where you can remove elements off the background. And yeah, you have yourself a nice photo. This was shot on an iPhone 17, on the iPhone. This is like crazy. Now also, I wanna launch up Lightroom. If you wanna really get advanced, it's best to use Lightroom. All right, so here's why I love Lightroom so much. Of course, you can adjust the exposure, the contrast, the shadows, but the cool thing about Lightroom is the masking. So I can add a mask, I can select different elements of the background. So let's select the sky. It's gonna automatically detect the sky, already masked that out for me. And I can adjust the light and just the sky. So you guys can see it was a little overexposed, a little bit. So I can lower down the highlights, bring in the clouds a little bit. You can adjust different aspect of the photo. Lake Louise is absolutely stunning. Shot this on an iPhone 17 Pro Max. If you guys want me to create my own Lightroom preset, let me know down in the comments. Maybe I might have to do an update video on this. And guys, that is where I'm gonna end out the video. Hope you guys learned something new. And make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this one. And let's see if we can get 5,000 likes on this video. Maybe I might make another one, maybe going more into detail with video. Other than that, hope you all have a simple day.